So Gilbert Arenas went on Shannon Sharpe's Nightcap podcast, and he called Nikola Jokic the worst MVP winner in 40 years. Take a listen to his amazing take.
Jokic is probably statistically, when it comes to overall game, the worst MVP winner. He's the worst MVP winner in the last 40 years. When you're talking about MVP, the guys outside of first and second place, their teams was first and second place. The people who won the MVP, their teams was first and second. When Jordan won it, his team record, they were 7th in the NBA. That year, he averaged 35, 6, 5, 3 steals, All-Star MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, scoring title, steals leader. That was the MVP. Historic year. Makes sense. When Jokic in 2021, Jokic's team was 5th. He averaged 26, 8, and 10. What was the historic part of that?
Is there any credibility to Gilbert Arenas' comment?
Zero. Come on. Ranking the MVP based on the team wins in the regular season. I mean, Jokic won. He won the MVP when he won the NBA championship. That's what counts, whether you win the NBA championship or not.
Well,
I mean, the wins.
It's not Finals MVP. It's league MVP.
I understand that. I understand that, but he did win the league MVP. He did win the league championship.
So it solidifies the fact that
fact for me that he's rightfully so the MVP. And look at how he plays. He's a unique player, right? He leads his team generally in assists, rebounds, and shooting. He shoots a 3-pointer well. He can shoot his foul shots. I mean, Arenas is making a big deal about Giannis not getting 3 MVPs in a row. Well, because Larry Bird did that, and they didn't want him to have that. They only want Bird to be the 3-time winner, 3 in a row. That's BS. I don't buy that. And I look at Giannis. I look at Jokic. He's a unique player. He's a point center.
Yeah.
In a way, you never see that. You've never seen that. He doesn't look like a great player, but he can hit his shots. He's smart. He makes everyone around him better. Look at that team. Do they have anybody great besides him? Would you say?
Jamal
Murray is good. I agree with you, but that's 2 players. Generally, teams that win the NBA championship have 3 really good guys. And I would say the Denver Nuggets last year, aside from him, who did they have? They had Murray, right? And the way they played, I think Arenas is totally wrong, basing it on regular season wins and whether you're 1 or 2 going into the playoffs. I don't think that matters to me. That doesn't mean much of anything.
Well, he's making a big thing about, Jordan, his team was, 10th in the NBA. Yeah, we never care about the total NBA statistics. What are you in your conference? That's the first thing we look at. For instance, if Jason Tatum won the MVP this year, it's a nice feat when you say the Celtics were the best team in the NBA. We never go down the standings and say, the Denver Nuggets were 10th in the NBA. No, we say, what are they? They're 6th in the conference. That's what we say about that. And I'm surprised, actually, because if he's bringing up Jordan's 35 points per game stat, what about doing it back in 1987 when Magic Johnson won, averaging only 23.9, but he also had 12 assists. Michael Jordan had 37 points per game. And if he's talking about, the Bulls were 10th when he won his MVP with 35 points, the Bulls were 14th in the NBA that season. However, they were 3rd, I believe, when he won that 35-point a game MVP, they were 3rd in the Eastern Conference, because I care about the conference team record first before I care about the total NBA record. Since 1987, there have been 37 MVPs. 26 of them were the 1st seed in their own conference. 5 of them were the 2 seed, 4 of them were the 3 seed, and 2 were the 6 seed. One of those 6 seeds was Nikola Jokic winning his 2nd MVP. That 2nd MVP is very, very fascinating because he actually was better than his 1st MVP. He had 3 more rebounds and about 0.7 more points per game. He had a few like minuscule points, assists per game fewer. But in that second MVP, he was the only player that was top 10 in points, rebounds, and assists. And he also became the only player in NBA history for a single season to have 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, and 500 assists. Correct. He was close to a triple-double. And that's historic. No, how about actually setting history? How about actually doing something historic, like becoming the only player in a singular season to have 2K, 1K, and 500? Yes, his points per game were only 27. And that first MVP, he only had 26. Would you believe that there were 13 people in that 37 MVP span to have fewer points per game than Nikola Jokic's first MVP? And by the way, he brings up that Giannis thing. Giannis should have won more. Giannis should have won 3P. He actually was only 4th in MVP ranking that year. So it's not like he was number 2 and barely lost. No, he was 4th. Joel Embiid actually had more MVP voting points than Giannis. Steph Curry had more first-place votes than Giannis. Chris Paul had more first-place votes than Giannis in his, should have been 3rd straight MVP. If people are complaining, and people do complain about this, then why does Steve Nash win 2 in a row? He had less than 20 points a game, which out of the past 37 is the lowest points per game out of the last 37 MVPs. Yet people think, oh yeah, Shaq probably should have won one of those. But he didn't. He didn't. So I despise this take because it literally makes no sense. This might be one of the worst NBA takes ever. And I think he's serious.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I think he's serious.
That's what scares me.
He's crazy.
He's serious about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And
no
he tried
basis.
to insinuate that the reason Giannis didn't get 3 in a row is because they didn't want Larry Bird upstage.
He wasn't even in
it.
second place.
And that's why Jokic got it, because they didn't want to give it to Giannis for the 3rd time, but he was 4th in the MVP voting that year. That's ridiculous.
Chris Paul in 5th place had more first place votes than Giannis that year.
And then the other time he won,
Jokic
they're saying
91%.
Westbrook should have got it because Westbrook had averaged a triple-double that year. I don't think that, to me, the MVP...
By the way, Russell Westbrook, his triple-double season, I think that's when he broke Oscar Robinson's record.
Yeah.
The Oklahoma City Thunder were 6th in the Western Conference that season.
Yeah. So, to me, the MVP is the guy who makes everybody around him better.
Jokic
and
definitely does that.
Jokic is better at that than anybody.
Yeah.
I think he given the team that the Nuggets have, and when the way they won it last year, he made everybody around him better.
Yeah.
And when he had to make the play, he did. He did not choke at all. Yeah. He played great all the way through, consistently. And to me, he was the MVP for sure. It was easy, hands down. And the other one he won too, I think he deserved that as well. And I bet you they win it again this year, or he's going to get a 3rd in a row. He's going to get a 3rd.
Like minus 1,000 odds for him to win it this year. Because he deserves it. He's only averaging 26 points a game. Would you believe him? By the way, this is something that it's very, very impressive for Jokic. The efficiency he does it at. His first MVP, he shot 56%. There are only 2 people in the past 37 years that have a higher shooting percentage. That second MVP season, he shot 58%. 0 people have a higher shooting percentage than that Nikola Jokic performance. He broke Michael Jordan's record for player efficiency rating. He set the record for the highest box plus minus in a single season. He led the league in triple doubles. I mean, you could keep going on. You could keep going and going and going. He had more assists than Joel Embiid's MVP season by a large margin. He had 5.5 more assists, and he had 0.2 more rebounds. He shot the ball significantly better than Embiid last season. But here, there is no basis. This take is horrible. All doors, it's just a bad take because there literally is if you're just going to claim Michael Jordan's 35-point season, which was, Defensive Player of the Year, no one cares about All-Star MVP. 0 people care. But you can go down the list. Yeah, Michael, that season was great. It was phenomenal. But also, you should make the case for Michael Jordan's 37-point per game season. Make the case for that as well. The Bulls, and it actually strengthens your argument if you argue that, because the Bulls were 14th in the NBA that season. They only won 40 games, though. Sub 500 record. Yes, you could say...
To me, the regular season, you got to get into the playoffs, right? It helps if you're number 1 or number 2, right? Because you get the right seeding there, and you
play the worst team.
You play the worst teams all the way through, but if you can get into the playoffs and then win the championship, I don't think the regular season wins mean anything.
Nikola Jokic in any of the MVP seasons was better than Dirk Nowitzki. Hands down better than overall player than Steve Nash. Kevin Garnett, he was better than Kevin Garnett. Tim Duncan, you look at the numbers, that second MVP season, he was better than Tim Duncan's both MVP years in 2002 and 2003. You go down these Hall of Fame lists. Nikola Jokic, you could combine the both of them or just, any individual one. You could say that any one of these MVP seasons were better than than some, like I said, 13 I would say about 13 who had fewer points per game than Nikola Jokic in that first MVP season.
Do you think the players think he's MVP? The players? Yeah. I know in one of the
LeBron James,
the All-Star,
everybody speaks very highly of Jokic.
The All-Star game. Remember the one where they had the two? Who was it? LeBron and was it Giannis? They were the coaches, and they picked. That
was last year. Not this past one. Last year.
Yeah, last year. And Jokic was the last pick.
Yeah.
Were they sending some sort of message there? I wonder. What do the players think about Jokic? Do they think he's the best?
They think highly of him, as they should, because who can match up against the Nuggets?
I think they're going to win it again.
The Celtics have not beaten. There are two.
The Celtics lost both games at home and on the road to the Nuggets.
Now, here's why I say it. I don't think the Celtics will lose to the Hornets late in this season. I don't think they will. So basically, the Nuggets are the only team that will shut them out by the end of the season. Only team. That's why I'm saying, we think, Denver's great. I think they're the number 2 seed, or 3 seed right now. Because OKC is great and Minnesota's great. But, in a 7-game series, who could beat this team? There's no matchup for Jokic.
I agree.
No one that can just completely shut him down and make him literally useless. Because if he doesn't score, he could rebound and pass the ball extremely well.
Mm-hmm. He's a point center.
If he needs to, he could take over a game and drop 35 points.
Yeah. No problem. They don't win that way. And he's recognized that.
Yeah.
If most teams will try to make him do that, right? Yeah. They'll try to shut down everyone else and let him have his points, because when they do that, they don't win. But he's smart enough to know he finds a way to get the other guys involved and make them better. And that's what an MVP does.
So, yep. As rightfully so, the internet was on the side of this is probably the worst take maybe ever.
Let's just talk about Arenas for a few minutes. Okay?
Oh, God.
This guy is out there trying to make a name for himself by making outrageous comments. Right?
Sports media for you.
This is outrageous. He's on I was listening to his take. He's on there with the 4-letter words, swearing, and the other guys sitting around listening to him with incredulous looks on their faces. What's he talking about? I don't think they agree with what he's saying, but they didn't say too much against him because maybe he'd pick a fight, pick a fight with him or something. I don't know. But he had another outrageous comment, right? That we talked about. What was it? I'm trying to remember which one it was.
The Celtics have been an irrelevant franchise for 30 years.
Yeah.
Because they won their championship back in 2008.
He's trying to make a name for himself with these outrageous comments, and I think it backfire on him.
Oh no,
he just looks
this
like,
one 100%
looks like a fool.
Oh yeah,
and he's the polls on the internet are saying this, right? Yeah. That he didn't know what he was. Oh yeah,
you look up this comment, you see worst take, outrage, it's ridiculous. So let's keep it his name and Mia. Shannon Sharpe, I think he should have kept him accountable because you're arguing for Michael Jordan, who won that MVP back in 1988. Yet if you go down the list in more recent times when the NBA has actually evolved and the big man does more than rebound and take close shots, the more valuable aspect of it comes through a lot more because now you have big men who can not only just dunk it on your head and rebound.
Hit a three-pointer.
He could shoot the three. He like this season, for instance. This season, he's shooting 34% for three, which for a big man is not terrible.
Not bad.
Not terrible. But
how many assists? How many assists a game is he getting? 9 assists a game.
But
and how many rebounds is he getting?
12.4.
And what's his point average?
26.5.
Hey, I'd love to have him on my team.
But also, here's the big thing. Giannis should have won, 3 times. Can't shoot free throws.
That's right.
He can't shoot threes as well. And Nikola Jokic, by the way, is shooting 58%.
Giannis's game is driving to the hoop and just destroying everybody to get a layup.
He's very, very physical.
Or dunk. Yeah, he's just very physical.
He drives, tries to get free throws, and misses most of them.
Yeah.
He's 65% free throw percentage, so it's not great. But Another week, another outrageous take from one Gilbert Arenas. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, if you want to check out the full episode, make sure you click the I in the top right-hand corner right now. If you want to listen to this show anywhere you go, make sure you go to anchor.fm/The Harvey Hour or anywhere you get your podcasts.